Alright guys, here we are removing the rest of the tiles before we do any more work. I hired this machine from Coates, booked it at Bunnings, picked it up from Coates Hire. It's a lot cheaper through Bunnings. I hired this particular machine. It's a vibrating type blade machine. I was hoping that it would actually remove the adhesive, but I found it was not very effective at all for the adhesive, but it did work okay on the tiles. But there is another machine specifically made for removing tiles which I would recommend, and as I have to hire the machine again to do the rest of my tiles, I will be getting the one that has it's basically a blade like I was using on my hammer drill to remove the tiles in the previous video about when I started to remove the tiles. So yeah, I would hire that one. I wouldn't hire this one again unless you've got floorboards. I reckon this one would be better if you had floorboards underneath your tiles, because it won't allow you to dig down and damage your floorboards if you were trying to remove tile and go back to your original floorboards. It sort of skates over the top of the adhesive and doesn't won't damage what's underneath. So it was quite good for that, but not great for the tile remover. It was a slow process. All this area that we're looking at now and down the hall, probably looking about 2.5 hours non-stop to remove those tiles. So yeah, it does take a bit of work, but yeah, this machine did do the job. But yeah, hard on my hands, as you can see. I'm pushing and having to sort of ram into the tiles to get them to lift up, whereas the proper machine for tile removal, actually you just move it up to it, because it reciprocates forward and backwards. It does that ramming motion for you, so you don't have to do that, and probably would have made the process a lot quicker. But hey, I tried. It didn't work for the adhesive, and you'll see later in the video what we do about the adhesive. Just sit back and yeah, watch the rest of it. Alright, here we are. Sparky's not long left, and he's installed all the cabling. That's going to be for a dishwasher, that's why that's looped like that. Another power point there. Got another power point here. We're also putting some under the cabinet LED lighting. So we've run some 12 volt stuff here, and he's got we had to run an additional extra 6mm cable for our oven because it draws quite a lot of power, so that's been upgraded. And then now we found out we've also got to have a local isolator for that. That's coming over here. And then we got another power point, range hood up there, more LED lighting. This is going to be for the LED lighting to switch them on and off, and also for there's going to be a down light going in there as well. And through here, same sort of thing, LED lighting switches, as well as switch for the 2 down lights in here, which are now being disconnected from the circuit, because those 4 were on the one circuit over that wall over there. So that's been disconnected now, and these are going to be on a separate circuit switch from here. And there's some more under cabinet lighting for across here, and that's for the one going under these cabinets, as well as more power points. She's got a lot of power points, and that's for power point on the other side. And there's going to be a range hood in here, so that's for the range hood. Power that. Done our power points for my TV, and TV cables have been directed to here. And yeah, the other couple of more power points, one for the outside of the wall because we planned on putting a hall table there, and she decided to put a lamp. So we've done away with the downlight, gone with a lamp, and the last power point there, and another power point there, which used to be the TV. So yeah, that hard wiring has all been done, and we still need to get him back because we've got a couple other little jobs we wanted him to do. But yeah, for now I'm ready. Well, that's basically ready now for plaster, but I'm not going to plaster that just yet because next week I've booked in the concrete grinder, and we're going to grind this adhesive off before I do the plaster. Just make it easier. I don't have to worry about it getting dirty or dusty, because anything that gets dusty behind there, we can vac it up, but whatever we miss just gets covered by plaster anyway. Okay guys, as I said before, the other machine was no good for grinding, removing the adhesive. I also hired this grinding machine through Bunnings, and then picked it up at Coates. Lot bigger saving on this one, almost $200. Actually, it was just over $200 saving. And this has got a specific type of blade for removing the adhesive. And I had a bit of a problem because I didn't know that the blades for removing adhesive were actually no good once they touched the slab. So the idea was to remove the adhesive down to not till it's completely gone, but to grind only down the adhesive, but leave some left on the concrete, and then change the blades to a concrete grinding blade, and then which would then remove the rest of the adhesive, and if you wanted to grind the concrete a little bit as well. So I actually ended up having to go back to Coates, and we got another set of blades so that then I could only grind the adhesive with the adhesive type blades, and then swap over once that was all done to grind the concrete. And you'll see later on, right now we're only doing adhesive, and we just use the same blades on the adhesive all the way around, and then I swap over the blades, and you see when we go back, you'll see when I'm grinding down the hallway, it's actually removing back to the slab, and that's when we've got the other blades in it. I'm going to do a separate video just on this machine explaining how you use it and how the blades are changed, because yeah, I had no I couldn't find anything on it, to tell you the truth. The people, here we are now, we're actually grinding not just the adhesive, that's already been done, see how it's already patchy, and now we're using the grinding stones, which are meant for a concrete slab, and you can see how it's coming up much easier and much quicker. It's got actual concrete grinding diamond blades on it now, and that's meant for a slab. You can't use those adhesive grinding pads on the slab. It doesn't like it. It starts jumping around everywhere, and yeah, you don't get a really nice finish. But yeah, like I said, stay tuned for a separate video which I go over the machine and how to change the blades, and a little bit more detail if you're interested later on. Alright, so I'll just leave you now, watch the rest of it, and catch you later. Alright, so here's the results after I used the grinding machine with the two types of blades that I showed you earlier. One to remove the adhesive. You can still see some here, but there is no raised section. It's just like a staining from the glue that's sort of I suppose soaked into the concrete. It's quite porous concrete, so well, as you can see, there's sort of patches. And look, I could have removed all of that, but there's just no need to keep going. And the way that the blades work, they sort of float on a light spring that keeps the blades in contact with the concrete, but don't actually apply a lot of pressure. So you're only taking off very light, thin amounts each time. You don't want to be really digging deep into your slab, so you might have to go over it a couple of times. As you can see here, this is the original where the carpet actually came out to here, and you can just feel where I've ground and the original. It's really not your fingernail won't get caught on it. It's that close to being, because you've only taken off a very minute amount. But it does a pretty good job. It's not a totally smooth finish, but I don't really need a totally smooth finish. We just need the adhesive removed. As you can see, you can't quite get into everywhere. I will have to go over this, remove manually by either my reciprocating multi-tool or some sort of scraper, because you just can't get in here with the machine. It's too tight. The handle hits the wall if you try and go in too tight, especially because, you know, if you're coming this way and there. So the edges are going to have to be done by hand, but as you can see, the majority of it is easily removed, and we're now ready for retiling, apart from where I've got to clean up the edges. It does a pretty good job, but be prepared for a lot of cleanup of dust and debris everywhere, because yeah, it does make a mess. All right, so with that said, I'll just go on to show you where we are with the renovation at the moment. As you can see, we're very close to, well, we're ready for plaster pretty much as it is. We've I've got all our timber work for overhead cupboards in this area. This is where the range hood's going to go. I've left that plaster off because once I install the range hood, I need to install a flue that goes into the roof cavity. There will be a bulkhead also going across there as well. So I'll just plaster that up once that's all installed, and it gives me access to the roof, which is a lot easier. We've got some top blocking in place for the bottom cabinets to be screwed into. We don't need it at the bottom. Probably throw one or two into the actual studs, but the bottom cabinets sit on legs, so there's no weight on them. We just wanted a way to attach the cabinets to the wall. We have our small wall here, which is going to be plastered. I still need to disconnect these lines and drill holes through the timber work to mount these the water supply on this little noggin there. Just haven't done that yet. Yeah, apart from that, pretty much ready for plaster. Finished off a little bit of insulation in this room, and that's we've got a little bit left over. We're going to put insulation in this internal wall as well. That's not for heating. It's basically more for soundproofing, because my wife will be using mix masters and blenders and whatnot in here, and I watch TV over there, so I'm trying to reduce the amount of sound that gets through to the TV area. So there we have it. All the insulation's in. tiles are ground down. Well, adhesive's ground down. Cement slab has been ground, and yeah, just ready for the plaster now. So we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.